Hello and welcome to Newsbreak at 7. I'm Vida Raghav and our top focus this evening. Well, this could well be a cage fight for the ages, something that defines our social media universe as well. After their open challenge to each other on social media, tech billionaires Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg are reportedly inching towards an actual physical fight, according to a New York Times report. They've apparently been in touch with a famous fight organizer and are warming up their martial arts skills as well, jiu-jitsu and judo. This is even as Meta-owned Instagram is all set to launch Threads, which is expected to directly compete with Twitter. NDTV's Indranil Basu says, bring it on.
With so much at stake, it's little surprise that Meta and Twitter will crack into any rivalry list in the world. The long-running and highly entertaining feud between tech czars came into limelight when Zuckerberg criticized Musk for his AI alarmism and the SpaceX launch failure. The feud went on hot and cold mode till the 19th of February this year, when Zuckerberg announced that Meta was launching its own version of Musk's Twitter Blue with increasing authenticity and security across services, both digs at Twitter Blue. Musk, never to miss an opportunity, called Zuckerberg a copycat and his ingenious new piece of work as inevitable. Meanwhile, recently, Twitter co-founder and former CEO Jack Dorsey came back into the social media game with the launch of his Twitter alternative called Blue Sky. The new Meta product called Threads will only be available in Australia and New Zealand first and then expand to other countries. And here's why the rivalry and the similarities become interesting here. Zuckerberg dropped the news of this product on a Sunday via a new Twitter-like service inside of Instagram. Meta Verified will come with a badge that will also be blue, much like Twitter. Like the new Twitter Blue, Meta promises additional visibility on the platform for a similar price of $15 per month if subscribed on an iPhone, compared with $11 per month for Twitter. Both products are cheaper if purchased outside of Apple's ecosystem. Meta promises extra impersonation protection against accounts claiming to be you and direct access to customer support, neither of which is part of Twitter Blue at the moment. Industry insiders, however, have differing opinions. They say Zuckerberg has a tendency to copy every idea in social media that becomes even the slightest rage. If Meta Verified succeeds, Zuckerberg will do so where Musk has failed. Despite the relentless promotions plus pluggy media stories about the new product over the past few months, Twitter's financial struggles continue. Now, Twitter is also planning to take TweetDeck as a paid service, which is likely to impact businesses and news publishers more. Meanwhile, all this virtual fighting has spawned a potential real-world cage fight where Musk challenged via a tweet and the Meta CEO shot back with the caption, "Send me the location," and said he has recently completed the grueling Murph Challenge workout in just under 40 minutes. What do we say? Expect bring it on?
Well, if you thought the world was crazy, this is possibly a new definition of crazy. Two tech billionaires in a cage fight. Well, so what's next? What does this mean for our social media universe? Joining us this evening, Rahil Khurshid, co-founder at Laminar Global, former head of news partnerships, government and politics at Twitter. He joins us this evening from Kashmir. Arun Mishra, CEO and founder of BizBrawly, joins us as well. First to you, Rahil, what do you make of all this that's happening around? Is this just going to be a cage fight for entertainment, or does this have great connotations for the social media universe?
I think a bit of both, quite honestly. I feel like with the distribution channel that Meta has built, formerly Facebook, they could shove anything into that distribution channel, and that product or service is bound to attract a certain sort of like volume of users. They've done this previously, right? Like they did it with Snapchat Stories, copied that idea, rolled out Instagram Stories, runaway success because they have a really large user base. From TikTok, they pivoted to Reels, again a runaway success. So there's no reason to believe that Threads is not going to have at least some amount of users signing up, given just the base of people that they have, right? It will be interesting to see, because this is Meta's first sort of foray from text to video, from video to text. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because the user base in that sense is very, 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 very attuned to sharing video stories now, video and photo stories now. Because Meta has made like a conscious shift away from text to photo and video. But this is also a testament to how badly Twitter is being run currently. There's a really large gap that unfortunately, Musk's antics have opened Twitter up to, and a bunch of people are capitalizing on that gap. In fact, Blue Sky, a fairly open protocol, Twitter competitor, had to halt signups this weekend, because that's how busy they were with people sort of like leaving Twitter, or at least like signing up in other places. Mastodon, as you know, has seen like really record levels of growth as well. So my sense is that Threads is going to see a fair amount of user activity. Whether it's going to stick or not, I think we'll have to wait for that.
Interesting that you make that point. Arun Mishra, what one understood from an old world was that Twitter had a very different set of an audience, and it had a very different user base compared to what Meta, Facebook or Instagram had. Do you really see that changing? And how is this going to perhaps going forward, redefine our social media universe?
Okay, I think very important question that you asked, Veer. It is going to redefine the way we are using social media. And I would like to highlight one thing which Rahil has not highlighted. I agree with the points that Rahil has raised. The overall user base of Instagram right now is almost 6 billion users. And this new Thread application is tightly going to be integrated with Instagram. So almost all these 1.6 billion users can use Threads without any separate identity creation, right? And then they are planning to launch this with people like Dalai Lama and Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey right now has 23 million followers on Twitter and Instagram only. So if they are going to join this Thread, I think everyone like us is going to follow users like Dalai Lama and Oprah Winfrey. But one thing I would like to highlight right now is the overall framework which Meta is trying to right now come up with this Thread. It's called decentralized social network. We need to understand what is this decentralized, what this concept can do. We have seen how blockchain is changing everything. Mark is trying to do same thing with social media network. We have seen the challenges with Twitter. We have seen the trust challenge with Meta also, Facebook also, the overall content moderation and overall trust challenge because of the president election and other things we have seen in the past. So that trust factor he is also trying to solve with this new application, because with the help of this new term called term called Fediverse, right? And Fediverse is nothing but this decentralized set of servers where your tweets right now, your text is not owned by any particular company. Right now, if you are posting something on Facebook, it is owned by Facebook. If you are posting something on Twitter, it is owned by Twitter. But in this case, if you are posting something, it may not be owned by Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, Meta. So that is something which is going to change the way we are going to use social media. Yes, Veer.
Rahil, isn't this something that Jack Dorsey has also pointed out? Where does this whole battle between these two leave things like Blue Sky, leave things like leave possible innovations which are new on the horizon, something that is beyond what is owned by the two big two of the social media universe?
You make an important point. I think the larger question as to what this means for not just these two platforms, what it means for public conversation, is what is at stake, right? Like we've seen tendencies of both Twitter as well as of Facebook, Meta, the Threads parent body, to comply with government directives in context to sensitive free speech issues. My sense is that Threads is going to be subject to same levels of scrutiny as well as of compliance from Meta as well as from the government, were it to gain any momentum at all. Blue Sky is trying to do a decentralized approach to the public conversation. It's not yet enough momentum, or Mastodon even, right, for it to have any meaningful dent in the public conversation. But what we've seen with Trump's takeover of the platform and his mismanagement of it, quite frankly, is that it has created a large gap. And I'm not at all surprised that Meta is trying to capitalize on that gap. They have a track record of exploiting market gaps with successful products. My sense is that they're going to be successful at this as well. I don't quite honestly trust them, even though Mark Zuckerberg makes a claim that this is going to be decentralized. But folks who have shared sort of like the data request that Threads is going to make of you, which is the same data request as Instagram, they're fundamentally going to have access to pretty much everything, each and every aspect of your data that you share with them, right? Or not share with them from a tracking point of view as well. So I think the bigger question here is what replaces Twitter that is actually useful to in the service of public conversation, that is actually useful in the service of the public sphere, not as to whether, another product by a tech giant is going to be successful or not. I mean, of course, they have 1.6 billion on users on Instagram. The way conversions work, even if 5 to 10% convert, there's like 16 million people off the bat. So it's going to be moderately successful for sure. And this is another avenue for Meta to show people ads.
So this is a very important point that you make. This is not about two tech billionaires. It's about the larger public conversation. Also, the size of Meta, when you come to business size, and some of those who are keen industry watchers tend to point out that this may just be a distraction, the whole conversation around Meta versus Twitter, because Meta has tried this in the past and hasn't been able to. It's not something that's really going to add much to Meta's top line. From a business point of view, Arun and Rahil, first to you, Arun, very quickly, what do you think the impact is going to be? A, from a business point of view, B, from an audience point of view, the challenge to Twitter and this whole tussle that we are seeing symbolized by this cage fight that we're talking about.
So one thing, like
Arun, first to you.
India, okay, so can you hear me, Veer? So in country like India, where we are tend towards Meta, where we have more Instagram users than Twitter users, it is going to be a very significant change from both business as well as the way we are using it. Right now, the ad revenue that they are earning from Instagram, now they can replicate the same thing for text-based ads also. For people like us in technology, right now we can post ads in case of videos and pictures on Instagram, but if we want to post something like text-based ads, we only have right now either Twitter or Google itself. Now we are going to have another platform where 1.6 billion users can post their ads, and it's going to add a lot of revenue to Facebook, to Meta.
Okay, Rahil, quickly your thoughts on A, what's it going to define in terms of business? And you've addressed that point. We've discussed that in terms of alternatives which are not controlled by one corporate, which are perhaps crowdsourced, which are widespread and a little more democratic, if I can use the word out. That's on the one side, but that's as far as the audience is concerned. But as far as the business is concerned, how much is this really going to change, or is this just something that we are seeing in terms of optics as a clash between the big two?
No, definitely not optics for sure. I think what this is, it's an indicator that that Musk is kind of like, it's sad to say because I spent 5 years at the platform. He's running Twitter into the ground. Like we saw rate limits on a platform that's driven by ads. That's completely insane. You want people to see tweets, right? Like you want people to see more and more tweets. For a company to be like, hey, yes, we're an ad-driven platform, but here is how many tweets you can see. It's an indicator that something is deeply wrong at the company. In terms of Zuck's decision to launch a new product, a new app, this does give him another platform to introduce more ad units. What those ad units are going to look like from a text point of view, like Twitter has a well-established record of shoving in ad units into a text plus video only, text plus photo only timeline, so to speak. And this is going to sort of like increase purely just how much availability
Right.
Meta has of space that they can offer, of units that they can offer
Okay.
companies to run ads against. So I'm not sure like what the top line impact is going to be short term or medium term, but long term, I feel like yes. What they could then do is they could offer a bundle, for example,
It's going to be.
with one discounted against the other, which is how usually this works.
Okay. Right, we're running totally out of time here. Well, if you thought the world was crazy, it's getting crazier in this social media universe. Thank you so much, Rahil and Arun, for joining us and sharing your thoughts on it. We'll take a very short break on the show. When we come back, all the top political news from South India. Welcome back to the top political focus, and this has been the top political focus in Karnataka for a while now. The BJP is yet to find a leader of opposition. It's unprecedented that the decision hasn't been taken even after the newly elected state assembly's first session began yesterday. MLAs from the principal opposition party, though, trooped into the well of the house, creating a ruckus, alleging that the state government has not fulfilled the promises it made in the Congress's election manifesto. Meanwhile, party veteran B.S. Yediyurappa staged a protest at Freedom Park in Bengaluru against the state government. Remember, Yediyurappa was in Delhi a few days ago, and the BJP is yet to decide on what combination it's going to go with for leader of opposition and party state president. Joining us now is Shrija, NDTV Shrija, who tracks all this very closely and tracked the Legislative Assembly developments all through the day. Shrija, tell us what you're hearing as far as the BJP is concerned. We believe there is a meeting that's on from this evening, 7 o'clock, and the political observers from New Delhi are here. Are they anywhere close to finalizing the decision on leader of opposition?
Well, Veera, I must say that we ourselves have been closely tracking this particular news. In fact, questioning Mr. Bommai himself, who really is the leader of the opposition next. But of course, we are hearing from our top sources within the BJP that there is especially discontent in terms of course, the top front runner for this particular top post is that Mr. Bommai himself. That was the name which was given by Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa when he last met the top brass. But however, we're hearing that they are going to take the consensus from all the elected representatives. And as we speak, we understand that particular meet is still underway with Mr. Vinod Tawade, the political observer, the BJP's General Secretary, along with Union Minister Mansukh Mandavia. They are deciding who should really, represent as the leader of the opposition as far as the BJP is concerned. Now, what could really be the reason for the delay? Now, what we do understand is that nearly 60 to 65%, now this is what we hear from the BJP, are not really in favor of Mr. Bommai, while on the other hand, you have Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa favoring Bommai. Now, who else could be the other contenders in this particular, for the top job? What we understand is that there are other front runners too, the former ministers, like for example, Ashoka, you have Sunil Kumar, and as well as Ashwath Narayan as well. So right now, before the political observers, we understand they will zero in on a particular name. This is after taking into confidence of all the MLAs together, and only will they will decide and announce that particular name, and hope, the BJP is hoping that they will have a leader of the opposition before they convene the assembly meet tomorrow for the third day.
Right. Remember, there is also the decision of state party president and going in with an electoral combination ahead of 2024 elections. Remember, the party's prime number of seats from South India in 2019 came from Karnataka. The other state where it won a few seats was in Telangana. So Karnataka extremely crucial for the BJP. There seems to be trouble within as well in terms of finding that right caste combination. We are attempting to go across to Ravi Kumar, BJP MLC, but I believe we are having technical trouble going across to Mr. Ravi Kumar, BJP MLC as well. Quick question to you, Shrija, and a quick answer. As far as the state president is concerned, what's the latest you're hearing? Because remember, there needs to be a caste combination that needs to balance out all sections in Karnataka as they head into 2024. Are they likely to stay with the old guard and not take any chances this time, given the kind of uncertainty that we've seen over the last few days? Shrija.
Well, Veera, if you remember, right after this poll debacle, we went on to see how it was Mr. Bombay. He took the whole responsibility for its failure. But right after that, you also went on to see there were several internal
I'm sorry,
polls
Shrija.
and meetings to understand as to.
Shrija, I'm really sorry. I believe we have Mr. Ravi Kumar on the phone line. Mr. Ravi Kumar, tell us some insight into what's happening within the BJP. Isn't it embarrassing that the party has gone into the state legislative assembly session without a leader of opposition? Is there something that is being done to finalize on who is going to lead the party inside the assembly and outside as well?
Hello.
Mr. Ravi Kumar.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Ravi Kumar, tell us what you're hearing. Who is likely to be the leader of opposition?
विपक्ष के नेता के सेलेक्ट करने के लिए हमारा सेंट्रल लीडर्स दो लीडर्स आए थे। एक हमारा सेंट्रल मिनिस्टर श्री मनसुख मांडविया एंड अनदर वन लीडर श्री विनोद तावड़े जी, दोनों आए थे। कर्नाटक के सभी कोर कमेटी मेंबर्स और हमारे विधायक के ओपिनियन लेके अभी गए हैं। मोस्टली कल हमारा अपोजिशन लीडर्स कौन है वो सेलेक्ट हो जाता है। सेलेक्ट करके हमारा स्टेट को बताएंगे। कल हमारा विपक्ष के नेता तय होगा।
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ravi Kumar. Shrija, as we just heard from Mr. Ravi Kumar, we don't expect a decision this evening. At least he doesn't. He says tomorrow the decision will be announced. So let's see how that plays out. Thank you so much, Shrija, for tracking all those developments. I'm sorry to have cut you off as you were mentioning about the state president, but that's all we have time for on this show. Thanks for watching.